Hello and welcome to Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen. This is the channel that brings you your team every single day, guys. If you want your daily Rangers fix, if you need that Royal Blue fix, you need to hit the sub, ring the notification bell, and come and join one of the fastest growing Rangers channels out there that brings you all the latest updates, news, club statements, transfers, transfer rumours, everything here on the channel. This is the channel for you. Well, welcome. Obviously, a lot to get through this morning or this afternoon or this evening. Obviously, it depends when you are picking up this video, as I know these videos are watched throughout the day, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay, so let's talk now. Actually, before we talk, one thing I want to say, I bet when you read the title, you saw Warburton, Panzo, Hagi, and more. You were kind of like, Warburton? Surely he's not talking about bread. Surely or Mark Warbuton. That's from the past. Why Mark Warbuton? What brings Mark Warbuton back into the Rangers remit? Why are we talking that? Are we having a history lesson this morning, this afternoon, this evening? No, we're not. Now, Mark Warbuton was recently involved with West Ham in their obviously run to the Europa Conference League final and obviously their victory over Fiorentina 2-1 in the final. And obviously dead chuff for Mark to obviously get a winner's medal as obviously first team coach at West Ham. However, Warburton has now departed West Ham and departed his role as first team coach. This is what he said on Twitter. An absolute privilege to have worked at West Ham, an outstanding group of players supported by a tremendous staff team, all of whom made my time at the club so memorable. I wish each and every one the very best of luck for next season. On now to the next opportunity. So obviously Warburton is ready to obviously move on to a new opportunity. He's left West Ham and some of the media this morning have him linked with a return to Rangers. No, not as manager. Michael Beale is safe. But we know that Rangers have a number of other roles that are obviously open at this moment in time, given the fact that John Bennett and James Bisgrove seem to have very much taken that kind of sweeping brush, cleaning brush approach to many of the senior staff at the club. Now, as Rangers manager, obviously he went from hero to villain, and there's still massive confusion, obviously, surrounding the fact that he left and he went to Nottingham Forest. Another player, another Rangers top manager, stroke sporting director in terms of high in the position, not as in terms of great, going to Nottingham Forest. After a successful season, obviously, with West Ham, Warburton is now looking to move on. And could Rangers be his next destination? Now, I know what the media are like. Look, I know they've probably put 2 and 2 together and got 4.5 and thought, well, 4.5 is close enough to 4, so we'll just run with it. So, let's talk a little bit about what they're reporting. I'm not saying it's gospel. I'm not saying it's true. I'm talking about what they are actually reporting about our club. And obviously, as fans, it's nice to know, obviously, what is going on with, out there in the real big, wide, bad world about our club, isn't it? Now, Warburton, obviously, as we all know, was a former City broker, and he started his football career at the very bottom. He coached under nines, to be precise. He worked his way up to be an academy manager at Watford and created a new initiative with Brentford's owner called Next Gen Series, which is also with youth development and bringing through young players. Obviously went to be a first team coach and obviously eventually a manager. Now, he's spoken, obviously, like I said, since his departure from Ibrox as well, talking about his regrets at how it all ended and the fact that he still has a huge affinity and a huge love of Glasgow Rangers. Now, the media is saying that it's very unlikely that Mark Warbuton will be given another manager's job, or that he maybe even wants another manager's job or another crack at management. But there is a talk that he could return to his roots and he could see a job opening at Okenhowie. Now, we know that Ross Wilson and we know that Craig Mulholland have departed the club. They've gone, obviously, Ross Wilson to Nottingham Forest, and Craig Mulholland, obviously, now the season is over, has departed. And it's talked of in the media today that Mark Warburton could well do either role for Rangers. He's well connected. He's thinking. He's got good thinking. He's driven. And obviously, he is 60 years old, obviously, which may go against him, his age, if Rangers are looking for a bit of youth behind that. But he has got previous experience and success at youth level and in developing young players. He knows, obviously, what the demands are of working at the club. He knows what it is to work for Rangers. He knows the expectations of the club. He knows what it is to be part of the Rangers staff. Now, It's said, in the media today that he could well do either job role, that he could be a sporting director or he could even go into the director of the academy. That is what they are talking about. Now, obviously, I think the academy director is perhaps more kind of what up his street, given the fact that obviously Warburton's major success and where he's worked well has been in that bringing through young players and developing young players through obviously his work at Watford as the academy director and obviously through the Next Gen series as well. That is kind of what he loves to do, develop players, coach players, bring players through. So could it be that Rangers may look at a return for Mark Warburton, but in that director of the academy role, that could well be what they're expecting. Is that something we'd want to see? Would we want to see somebody like Mark Warburton return to the club? At the end of the day, these are positions we need to fill. And what we need the club to do is to do their due diligence on this matter and, look at who is going to do the best job for the club. In terms of the sporting director role, yes, I know Michael Beale is doing a very fine job, obviously, recruiting this summer. But I think with the expectations ahead, with the desire to obviously kick on and win trophies and do well in Europe, Michael Beale needs to really concentrate on the first team, on coaching the first team, picking the team, developing the team that he's got, and obviously the pressures of contract renewals, players whose contracts are running down, what to do with them, signing players, player negotiations, signing on fees, etc. We need to kind of take that away from him and let him do what he does best, which is coach the team. After all, that's kind of why we hired him. He's an outstanding coach, and that's what we want to see from Michael Beale, not obviously the other side. Yes, I know he's done a great job this summer. Well, we hope he's done a great job this summer, obviously, with the players that he is bringing in to the club. So, what do you think, guys? Mark Warburton, yes or no to return to the club? Could that be a possibility, or is again a case of the media putting together 2 and 2 and getting 4.5 and deciding, well, that's close enough to 4? We'll go with that. Who knows? We know what the media is like in this country, don't we? It is very much a sensationalized when it comes to the nation's favourite sport, football. Okay, let's talk now about another transfer target. Before we talk about two, we're going to talk about that first, and then we're going to talk about Fashion Sakala. Yes, the man from Zambia. I know I'm not going to sing the song because I don't want to break your ears this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening. And obviously, Victoria's favourite as well. We're going to talk about Yanis Hagi. He has escaped from a basement and he is ready to go. Okay, so let's talk about Jonathan Panzo. Now, Jonathan Panzo obviously is the young defender, left-sided centre-back, can also play left-back. Owned obviously by Nottingham Forest. Again, a club run now through the sporting director role by former Rangers sporting director Ross Wilson. The Jonathan Panzo deal has been an on and off saga again, like the Jose Cifuentes saga that's kind of gone on all summer. Panzo is young, he's enthusiastic, he has obviously points that he needs for development, and I think that is something he can work on, and I definitely feel that he would benefit learning from the likes of John Suter and Connor Goldson at our club. But Panzo certainly seems to be someone who is definitely on Michael Beale's radar, given the continual stories and the continual links, and obviously the media reporting that there are ongoing negotiations between Glasgow Rangers and obviously Nottingham Forest, who own his registration. Now, as you can see in that photograph on screen now, Jonathan Panzo obviously spent last season on loan at Coventry. Yes, that is a first-team game. Yes, there are lots of empty seats, but Coventry are a Mickey Mouse little club. They don't have a lot of fans, so that's hence why there is a lot of empty sky blue plastic seats there. They are a pretty awful club from an awful city. But Panzo obviously did a good job for them. And the testimony to that is the fact that Coventry want to re-sign him, as do West Bromwich Albion. Before any of you get worried about that, Championship clubs in England don't have a substantial amount of money. The clubs that are relegated from the Premiership do. They have parachute payments. The clubs obviously that have been in the Championship for a number of years don't have that extra money, so obviously are again working very much on a trading model, working very much on a breaking even model, not on a splashing the cash kind of model. They don't have it unless they have particularly a rich owner, and Coventry City certainly don't have that owner, and West Bromwich Albion have an owner who is quite tight, and I know they do want to get rid of. So I don't think there's a great deal of competition there. But, at the end of the day, Rangers have obviously got the fan base, 52,000 every other week to play in front of, European football, trophy lifting, all that going for them, and the fact that we are the greatest club in the world, going for us. But obviously stands us out. Now, according to the media, that there is a big push at the moment by Rangers to get these negotiations up and running on a £2.5 million deal to bring Panzo to the club. Now, Jonathan Panzo, though, is currently not in the country. He is currently in Mykonos, one of the Greek islands, where he is following in the footsteps of Antonio Cholak and James Tavernier by giving up, obviously, his holiday time to continue his training and his preparation. Here he is in Mykonos, working on stretching and weightlifting with that medicine ball there. With some guy obviously taking a photograph of him in the background. That's great. But according to a number of media sources, he is taking his preparation very seriously, and he is out at this training camp in Mykonos doing weight work, fitness work, cardio work, ball work, lots of different types of things to really develop him and get him sharp, ready for pre-season. Now, again, it could be the media putting 2 and 2 together and getting 4.2 and deciding that's close enough to 4. But, this is felt that apparently he is preparing to obviously be ready to return to preseason training with Rangers on the 30th of June. Now, that is obviously dependent on Rangers concluding a deal for the young defender. He certainly is someone I think could really add to this squad. It would give us a good strength in depth in defence. Obviously, I think would increase the likelihood that Rangers would move on Ben Davies this summer if a deal comes in for him. Although Stoke City are reportedly interested in Ben, you've got to look at 2 players for every position. In that case, you'd have obviously Connor Goldson and John Suter, Jonathan Panzo, and I think you put Leon King into that mix. You've got 4 good quality central defenders there who can really take this club on to the next level. I would support a move for Panzo. I think it's a good move. For definite. So let's have a look at Panzo. Let's see where he's up to. Let's see what he can do. I do think he is someone who could really add to this club and add to this squad. So it does appear though that Rangers are taking seriously the Jonathan Panzo and are trying to push through a deal for him at this stage. Now, obviously, with all these incomings, there has to be a few outgoings. And obviously, the players that have moved on so far, those that were out of contract, the Kents, the Moreloses, the Scotty Arfields of this world. Scotty. But there are rumours, obviously, that, not rumours, facts, obviously, that Michael Beale did say that players trading out will continue this summer. That players will obviously leave this summer. Now, who's going to leave? Who's going to go? Who knows? Glenn Kamara obviously is the name that seems to be topping everyone's list. A £5 million price tag on his head, with a number of clubs from Turkey and England allegedly interested in securing the services of the Finnish international. Also, you've got a rumour currently around Fashion Sakala. Now, Fashion Sakala is again another Rangers player who divides opinion, doesn't he? The smiling assassin who can as easily score a wonder goal as miss an easy goal. You look at this, the smash strike, obviously, against Dundee United, and then you look at those 2 open goals he missed in the semi-final and final against Celtic. And I'm sure we all sat there on Old Firm Day when he goes around Joe Hart and he hits it and think, oh my God, he's missed it. But no, luckily it did go in. Fashion Sakala, a man who can go from world beater to carpet beater in the blink of an eye. Now, there have been rumours reportedly linking him with a move to FC St. Pauli in the German Bundesliga. However, at this stage, St. Pauli have played down those links, saying that at the moment there is no truth in them. And obviously, they are looking and scouting, but Sakala at the moment is not on their radar. So at this moment in time, it looks like Fashion will be staying put in Glasgow. Obviously, I'm sure everyone has their own opinion on Fashion. Personally think, that as a squad player, he can come in, he can do a job for us. His stats, his goals, his numbers are not bad at all. So I think that there is a squad player in there. Not a starter, but definitely a squad player in there. Now, the other player, obviously, that's been linked with a move away from the club is Yanis Hagi. Yanis, don't leave, you will make Victoria cry. Now, Yanis obviously has been linked with a move to Galatasaray, who seem to think it is their divine right to have another Hagi. Celta Vigo in La Liga for $3 million. Now, a lot of Rangers fans, including myself, think that $3 million is not enough for Yanis Hagi, someone as skillful and as talented as Yanis. For me, 7 to 9 million will be more realistic when Yanis is on his top form. Now, obviously, he has suffered from that injury and has had to rebuild his career, rebuild his fitness at Ibrox over the last sort of 12 to 15 months. He has come back into the team. Obviously, he got that goal at Hibs at Easter Road, very emotional scenes as he scored that goal. And obviously, Yanis has also played bit part as well as starting a couple of games for Rangers in the run into the end of the season. Now, a lot of people obviously believe that Yanis should be kept for another season at least. A good season from Yanis would obviously see his value increase. I'm certainly, and I'm not just saying this because I want to keep Victoria happy. I'm saying this because obviously I think that Hagi is a class player. He's a good player. His passing is very good. His shooting is very good. He's particularly effective in Europe. I do think he would be a quality asset. And, look, I understand that we have to raise money. I understand as well that fans want to see a changeover in the squad. But, you can't get rid of every single player and bring in 22, 23, 24 new players, perhaps only keeping on some of those players like McCrory and Tav and Goldson and Jack. You've got to have, and Cameron Raskin, obviously, you've got to have a gentle changeover. You can't have an extremely quick, because at the end of the day, the team won't bed in. They weren't ready for the season to start. So I think that Yanis Hagi is someone we should keep for at least one more season. Now, Yanis has been talking about his future as he is away on international duty with his country, Romania. This is what Yanis had to say. He said, the discussions that I and my manager had as soon as the season ended were positive, but that's about where it stayed because I only had 4 or 5 days off and I joined the national team. The season is not over for me. When you sign an extension with Rangers after a year out with injury, you've done something right. I am happy that I managed to extend my contract with such a huge club in Europe. We hope that next year we will win trophies. So let's have a look at that quote from Yanis. Obviously he said that there's very positive discussions that him and Michael Beale have had, obviously regarding his future and regarding his role for next season. And we know that Michael Beale has a lot of time for Yanis Hagi, has a lot of respect for Yanis Hagi. So, we've got to sort of conclude that Michael does want to keep Yanis at the club. It is clear, obviously, that he hasn't had time to conclude those conversations due to the fact, obviously, international duty came up. But, he's talked about the fact that he signed that extension, that he feels happy there, that he feels happy at the club. He doesn't want to go anywhere. He's also about the fact that we are a huge club, which is true. He's talked about winning trophies next season. So again, there's forward aspiration for next year there in what Yanis has got to say. I think look, I can only infer from what he's saying. I don't know. I haven't gotten in at the club. I don't talk to Michael Beale, unfortunately. I don't talk to James Bisgrove, unfortunately. James, if you're watching, I'd love an interview. But Yanis, it looks to me like Rangers do want him to stay this for next season at very least, and then maybe they'll look at it again next summer. Personally, and again, I'm not just saying this because of Victoria, I do want Yanis to stay. I think he is a quality addition in our squad. I think he will add to the squad, and he will do a great job for Rangers next season. So, look, at the end of the day, we've got to think about Yanis in a positive way. We've got to think about this next season in a positive way, and we do need to have strength in depth at every single position. And obviously, NASA is currently ongoing. Victoria enjoying herself out in Toronto, apparently. I did speak to her earlier today. It was great to hear from her. Obviously, look out for videos. Victoria dropping little shorts, little videos about her experiences at NASA. There will be videos coming up, so please look out for those. And the best way to make sure you don't miss out on any of the content, like I keep saying, is to hit that sub, ring that notification bell, and give this video a like. Now, remember as well, you can also join this channel for as little as 99p, less than a cup of McDonald's coffee. It's just below, or you head to the homepage of the channel, subscribe, and then you can join the channel. Well, guys, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you here on Glasgow Rangers Nation. And remember, it's not just here on YouTube. You can find us. You can find us on Twitter at GRN1872, on Instagram, Glasgow Rangers Nation, on Facebook, Glasgow Rangers Nation Official, and also, we're down with the kids in it. That's what my daughter's telling me to say. Glasgow Rangers Nation on TikTok. And you can email us, glasgowrangersnation@gmail.com. Or you can even buy the pod of coffee at www.buymeacoffee.com. Guys, I'll keep that scrolling. Thank you so much for watching. And you know what? We need to remember, always remember, we are the people.